Right, so Bubbles, you're doing your lass's math homework so she didn't get detention tomorrow. There's no way he's got a girlfriend, don't be like that. This is bedtime, Liam. You don't have to try and calm his passions. And I didn't do the intro, you know, because I'm terrible. So what we'll do is we'll just jump over instead. I'll just push the button. Oh, that was difficult. Ooh, so much effort went into pushing that one button. So much effort. I did this a little bit on my bum as well. Literally, as I moved over to push the button, it was that strenuous that just a little just happened. I apologise. I don't know if you guys heard that when I moved, but just in case you did, I thought I'd explain. Otherwise, you didn't, and I just told you anyway, and you know. I hope that's also okay. Right, so the defending team is SNG. They have a good 5 pole axes. They've got 4 muskets, 1 longbow, a pike, and 2 short swords. They have an absolute wedge of liaos. They do have at least 1 chevalier. They've got a good chunk of Fort Brachio, a good chunk of the Roman shields, which for some reason I can't remember what the bloody hell they're called. Myrmilones. They've got a couple of shield maidens as well, and halberdiers. The attackers have got a lot of Iron Reapers, halberdier sergeants, Fort Brachio, practically no cavalry. They've got like a monastic by the looks of it, or that could be cataphracts. They had 1 winged hussars and 1 other golden cavalry. It was either monastics or cataphracts, we'll see. But a lot more infantry based than the defending teams, which is going to be interesting to see how that goes down. Obviously, SNG's defense that they just had against Warbus was extremely strong. So maybe Fatal's faction just saw how SNG defended that one and will try to avoid the mistakes that Warbus made as they were pushing, or trying to push, into Hidden City. So let us get up into the sky. Malta. We're going to follow you because I've got a feeling you're going to be terrible. What is that for a hat? Why have you got like a fucking curtain on your head? Explain yourself, Malta. Why have you got a curtain on your head? With like a... Is that like a giant frisbee or something? I don't know. Anyway, so have we got anyone else here that we know? Monka the Noob's in my house as well. I think basically all of them are out there. What's going on here? Is this allowed? Yes, the attackers have got 300 more units than the defenders do. Obviously, they have a lot less cavalry, so that makes a lot of sense. Is that bumming Kagan? You been bumming Kagan, have you? Where's Kagan? Kagan, does he bum it? Where are you? Kagan? Kagan? Where's he bum? Oh, there's Bravo. He's terrible as well. Look at him. Have you been bumming Kagan as well, Bravo? Or is it just bumming Kagan that's been doing it? Where's Kagan? There's bumming Kagan. Wait, is there multiple bumming Kagans? Oh my god, there's multiple bumming Kagans. Where's Kagan? His bum must really hurt. Kagan, where are you? Where is he? We need to find him. I don't care what else happened. Here's Dunkel Kagan. How's your bum doing? Looks like... Wait. Bum? Your bum looks okay, actually. I mean, he's moving fine. Possibly might be shitting himself every time he's running around. Like, literally doing this. But, like, wetter. Kagan, how's your bum doing? You've got apparently been bummed, like, multiple times. Ruffle here as well. Just changed his units to the Reapers. Also another terrible player. Look at him. Blue glaive. Who uses a blue glaive? What are you doing? What are you doing, Ruffle? Letting us down. Letting us down. Look at the bad attire here. What's going on? Disappointed. Disappointed. I hope you lose now. Terrible attire. Right, what we got going on here? Libao thinks he's a winged hussar with a pan on his head, or like a wok or something, I don't know. Postoi the longbow here doing work, or trying to at least pester the attacking team as much as he can. There is a lot of culverins from the defenders down, which means they're probably going to be able to get rid of multiple of the towers. The first one is already Doctor, which is interesting, so it looks like they've decided not to put as much pressure down getting the towers down, which is very interesting because it looks like they built in similar places and built a similar amount as what they had on the last defense. It must be, though, because they knew that FatalFaction would have been able to see their last defense, that they decided to do something different, which is interesting. So Monteki and Walter and a couple of the other guys are putting pressure upon the heroes that were trying to push the top of the tower. The difference is for FatalFaction that they're going to get all 3 towers in looking at it, which means that they don't have to... Oh, that nearly died as well. Look how close that is health-wise. Like, one more shot and that thing would have been gone. That's unlucky then for SNG. Maybe they did try doing what they did on the last one. They just didn't manage to get it done in time. Although this western one looks like it might be about to drop, which is interesting. And for some reason, there's like a... What is that sign there? Like on the mini-map, it looks like a horn or something. Is that... Why is there a horn there? What does it mean? Is that part of the mini-map? No. What does that mean? Doesn't say. There's just like a random button in the middle of the screen and it doesn't even say what it is if you go over it when you've altered your mouse. Right, so it looks like they're about to get all 3 of the towers in, which means SNG are going to have to fall back if they can get pressure up from every angle. FatalFaction should be able to just absolutely stomp them, and it looks like SNG are already pulling back, and they will probably end up deciding to try and fight in this area because it's very treb safe. Obviously, the attackers can place artillery, which might nullify that advantage slightly, but we'll have to see. Obviously, the attackers could come down the back staircase or go through the gate. The gate is now down. The defenders have nothing in the gatehouse. I'm going to get up into the air a little bit. So the attackers have been gifted A. All of the defenders are coming back to get new units, and they probably will be getting units to defend the B point. Yeah, A's already been capped. So the defenders have just removed multiple cavalry. We've got a first unit of Liao's, 2 units of Liao, 3 units of Liao's already out. We've got Myrmilones, we've got Shenjis in the middle here, we've got Zakalian running around as well, a couple of units of Stalwarts. Good chunk of Myrmilones and Stalwarts. It looks like 3 of each. We've got Claymores, Halberdier Sergeants. Okay, very interesting. Let's see what units the attackers have got. So we've got Imperial Spear Guard. We've got at least 2 units of Halberdier Sergeants. We also have Claymores. They've got their own Myrmilones. Obviously, Ruffles got his Reapers up. So does Silent Wraith. Monka by the Noob's got Shield Maidens. And we've got Shenji from Not by the Winkrow. Units on the ground. It was Cataphracts then, not Monastics. And the 1 unit of... Oh no, 2 units of Cataphracts, so I missed it. So 2 units of Cataphracts and Winged Hussars is the cavalry they've got out. So what they're probably going to do is X move through or jump onto the floor, push the 2 button and get their cavalry to just like rinse through stuff is probably the plan. Looks like they're going to do a twin push from these 2 staircases and go for the supply first and then see what they can get done. We've got archers up as well. I Malta, that's Namkams, obviously getting the stacks of bleed off. Looks like they were shooting towards the B point here, maybe onto down on these here, but I don't think so. I think they're going to try getting rid of this stuff here now. Up on the wall, we've got a couple of mortars, we've got a couple of ballistas, a culverin as well. Good chunk of shielded infantry units. We've got a couple of mortars on the back wall there as well. Anything here? Ballistas and a normal cannon. Okay. The defenders are just trying to get out of the line of fire, basically. They are dropping a few units, but it's nothing like tragic at the moment. Looks like the fight's going to be going down in the western side of the city. The attackers have come off of the walls. They're going to have to be very careful with the amount of... Here come the... Oh, there's... Yeah, the Liao's. The Liao's are going to be difficult to deal with, man, because they get their gunshot off first, and then when they do, they devastate as well. So the big fight's going down here now. The problem the attackers have got is they're actually outnumbered by the defenders here, which means that the defenders should be able to clear through this fairly easily. Obviously, the push from the other stairs coming through this side now. Monka the Noob try to get in behind and stop the flow going, or like stop the attack going, or the counter push, whatever you want to call it. Multiple Liao's have absolutely ruined the front-facing line of the attackers. And now the attackers are getting into the back lines of the defenders, so the Shenjis are probably gone, and multiple of their units are probably gone. But if you like, the initial engagement definitely went direction of the defenders, so SNG did really well there. I don't know I think possibly that the attackers might have been a little bit slow on the rotate. They are going to try to set up a defensive position here. They've got halberdier sergeants, they have got myrmidons and shield maidens there to try and stop the enemy heroes getting through. Now the respawners and the people that have survived are getting onto this, the resupply point to get units. We've got Kesha up on the back here with his myrmidons. He's going to try getting rid of Imaltar with his Nankams. Imaltar is moving off the wall now. Big fight still going on in the back lines here. It looks like the attackers should have the slight advantage here. Stalwart's being pushed through though. The Iron Reapers should be using flails against Stalwarts, not swords. So Zerkos is doing that wrong. Possibly though he fat fingered it and pushed the button by accident, but he would have done a little bit better with flails there because he would have knocked their shields out of the way. We have more Liaos in the background here, getting rid of Silent Wraiths, Shield Maidens. We've got some Fort Brachio though and some shields coming up, so if they get V attacking now, he braced them instead, but yeah, maybe he just wanted to not get his face rolled over by them. So unit-wise, the defenders are 200-ish, 200, 300-ish units less than the attackers. So the attacker is a very scrappy fight. The attackers are doing well though. But apart from that initial engagement here that they definitely lost because they were just outnumbered, since then I would definitely say it's swinging in the attackers' favour. The attackers at the minute are down 1 unit. Oh, I like that they split off here as well to stop the reinforcements coming through. I'm going to try getting a bit of a higher angle on the map to see if there's any... Sometimes the mini-maps lie, and that's why I'm having a look around with the camera. Apologies if that makes anybody feel motion sickness, but the attackers are now going to put pressure upon the northwestern resupply straight off the bat. They've got enough guys on B, just heroes going now. We've got Step Bros, Tikas going on for the northeastern supply as well to capture that. The defenders are down to 11 heroes out at the minute. They are still trying to put pressure upon the northwestern resupply to stop the attackers gaining too much momentum. Obviously to give their team time as well to set up on base. Apologies for the hiccups, set up on base point as well. Big fight going off down here. I can't help but feel like the defenders have just got too little units here though, and the attackers should be able to start steamrolling this soon. There are Shield Maidens, Myrmidons, and IPGs at the minute for the defenders. There are some Zakalian in the back here though, but they just got hit by a mortar or cannon. They're pulling back now, and obviously the attackers are pushing through and trying to kill some of the Zakalian. Zakalian have got over half the unit. There is Shenjis here from Kesha, but the attackers haven't been able to put pressure on quick enough to get rid of that. So there are only 9 heroes from the defenders up, and that's why the attackers are keeping up the pressure and attacking as aggressively as possible. Tikas just got caught out unfortunately and got annihilated by like 3 or 4 heroes. However, good trap coming in from the attackers, and they are in the main avenue already, and the defenders will not be able to get a decent setup on the end point. Kesha looked like he was going to go around the back with his Liaos. He is not. Multiple Fort Brachios coming through now. That's at least 4 sets. If they can get down and start getting braced in positions, they've got one in their backlines as well with Planter. A second one by Monk the Noob, which is really... Oh, that's really good. I like that they're leapfrogging over the top so they've always got the defense at the one side. They are pushing through now. They should be able to win this fight as well. Good shield jump. I think that was by Monk the Noob. And now they're going to start moving down. They need to start trebbing this corner here to putting more pressure upon on the guys. It looked like Monteki had the Chevaliers. The Chevalier crossbows are still shooting, but the Chevaliers themselves are dead. We've still got Fort Brachio cover from the attackers in the back line, so they can't get steamrolled from back there. Unit-wise, they've got double the units of the defenders, and we've got just under 6 minutes until the end of this match. This is absolutely glorious. Like, non-stop fighting. We've got artillery down as well from the attackers still. We've got Zerkos here with his claymores, just trying to do a little bit of nastiness in the back there. He unfortunately gets caught out by some Liaos, but I think he'll be happy with that. The defenders are actually holding on here with Tooth and Claw. They managed to get back onto the point. Hero-wise, it's absolutely completely flipped on its head. Obviously, the attackers having a lot longer to run than the defenders do. Maybe, because they've got the unit advantage, the attackers should think about pulling back shortly, because they're about to get pincered from 2 sides, and they're going to lose a lot of their units here, which is going to be a massive win for the defenders if they can get them in there. Oh, they managed to just turn stuff around so they couldn't get pincered, but they are getting pincered from the other side now. So even though they stopped, if you like, the flank from behind, now the front line that was in the that they were facing is pushing through, which was the correct choice to do from the defenders. That was actually nicely done. But SNG managing to stabilize there. Obviously, it's 200 to 500 units, so they are still going to be fighting an upwards battle. And apologies for not reading the chat, but this fight has been going mental. And there's Bumin Kagan's units. So the attackers are pushed onto the point. It looks like most of them are back on. The defenders are the guys now that have dropped a few heroes. There are Zakalian bombs from Imalta getting thrown over the top onto the biggest blob of defenders. The attackers are pushing through. There is a preemptive trap coming down now. Geradork doesn't have a unit anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. And now the attackers are on point. There are only 2 defending heroes left alive. We've got Nan down here. Only 1 left alive. Oh no, Zen is just spawned in, and it is GG. So they're going to push through with some units, start blocking stuff off. So Zerkos and Luan Leon Kerr. GG. Fatal Faction 1-0 against SNG. And we'll have to see how the next fight goes, because that was glorious. I'll go over as quickly as I can with the MVPs and everything, so the next fight can start as quickly as possible. We are just on half now though, so it should be good. Right, so MVP for the attackers was Tocho, 10, 1 and 8 and 81 units. He got a good chunk of Liao's killed as well, and it's actually a good spread. There wasn't anything like amazing wise specialists that he got rid of. Obviously a few Zakalian, but obviously 10, 1 and 8 is nothing to scoff at, as in extremely good. Let's say result. My brain just literally froze and I didn't know what to say. And he also had the highest heroes killed. He didn't get the highest assists though. That looks like it goes to Imaltar with 16 assists. And the highest units killed was Stepbro Tekas with 112. So very nicely played to Fatal Faction there. And it looks like Bumin Kagan was tired from Bumin Kagan, and that's why he was bottom of the team. The defenders then, Monteki with the MVP, 2, 111 and 108 units killed. He also didn't really get rid of that many specialists. He did get rid of a lot of Fortebrachios and a lot of Halberdier Sergeants though. I think that maybe would have been when he had his Chevaliers out, because the crossbows were firing for quite a while when he had them on the end point. Could be wrong though, but that went well. So the highest heroes killed from SNG was 3, and there's multiple people. So we've got Nan, the Lancelot, Zeniez, and I think that's it. And then assists goes to Monteki, and obviously units goes to Monteki as well. Heroes killed overall though, so, or hero deaths let's say, so 19 for the attackers, that can't be right, and 38 for the no wait, 19 defenders died and 38 attackers, that can't be right, because the attackers, the defenders had a lot less heroes towards the end. That must be the wrong way around, surely. Are the stats still flipped like they were like 3 months ago? Because that makes no sense looking at this now. The units is the right way around. No, it isn't, because the attackers had the higher units. So these are the flipped off the head. That makes sense now, because the attackers started with 1500 and the defenders were 12. So these are the wrong way around. Oh, that's so annoying. That proper confused me. So it is the correct way, but just ignore the blue and red. That's flipped on its head, because the hero deaths for the attackers was lower than the defenders. That's why they could steamroll. They obviously still lost 1,000 units, but because they started with more, that's why they had more at the end. That makes actually more sense. And obviously the attackers, okay, yeah, maybe some of them are flipped on the red as well a little bit. That's so confusing. Anyway, Toggle, Fatal Faction.